It's time to chill out and get ready for a mediocre Q&A live stream. If you're old enough, grab yourself your favorite adult beverage, and if you're not, stick with apple juice. Put your feet up and relax. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the chat. And now let's cue up the intro music. Yo, hello everybody. How are you guys doing this evening? I hope you guys are doing well. As usual, got a bunch of stuff I want to talk about, and then I'm gonna fix some audio levels. There we go. I couldn't hear myself very well. I get a lot of people asking me, why do I use this fancy stuff? Why do I use headphones? Why do I have this big old mic? I'm just like to be able to have a decent production. I know it's not perfect or anything like that, but and also the headphones, those are actually really important when you're streaming, because especially when you're using a mic like this, I have to be a certain distance away, and I'm watching the audio levels as this stream's going on right now, and being able to hear myself really does affect the way that I enunciate and talk and things. So it's all about trying to have somewhat of a decent stream. Or videos too at the same effect. Like, I know that I could easily take these off and just talk into the microphone, but then I can hear things. I can hear when I get too close or too far away, and it helps me to have better audio quality. So yeah, that's why I do that kind of stuff. I see a lot of cool people in the chat as usual. If you guys please do me a favor, wherever you guys are watching this on, give the video a thumbs up. If you're watching it on a phone, all you got to do is hit the back button. It backs out. You can usually find the thumbs up button. And then the same thing if you're on a TV. You can even do it on a TV, but if not, if you're watching this on a TV, I highly suggest you at least have a phone or something pulled up, because there's an awesome chat that most people don't even know, because if they're just watching this on a TV, it's a little difficult sometimes to see a chat. So there's this whole live chat going on. Sometimes they're talking about the same thing I am. Sometimes they're talking about other stuff. So it's always cool to interact with these and get, there's like community of people that always come to these too. So let's see. I'm looking at the cool chat. So as usual, if you guys have questions or things that you would like me to talk about, please put them in caps lock in the chat, and that helps me to see it a little bit better. Sometimes, you got to keep asking your question because I miss it. The chat, sometimes there's a lot of people moving around and it's hard to pay attention to everything. So keep re-asking it until myself or one of the moderators tells you to stop. And if I miss your question altogether, put it in email format and send it to hvacrvideos@gmail.com, and I'll try to get back with you, okay? So But yeah, this is there you go. Hey, Alaska, you know what? He's watching it on the pooper. So, you know, that's funny. Let's see. Right on. Okay. So, you know, the elephant in the room, I released my end of the year video that I'd been teasing for such a long time. I do want to address a few things with that too. Okay. First and foremost, I beat to the tune of my own drum. I like to do things a particular way. Okay. Nothing against the other people that do giveaways that make you like, subscribe, comment, all these different things. I'm just not into that. I like to operate a little bit differently. So again, nothing against the people that do giveaways and announce things and stuff like that. But I genuinely wanted to pick people that didn't know they were going to be chosen, right? Last year, you know, a lot of people know how I did the giveaway, and, you know, I wanted it to be something different. So I actually posted about a month and a half, 2 months ago on social media, and then had all my friends, just like I said in the video, post the same question. So it had been out there lingering. But I like the whole thing of it was, you know, random, you know, and nobody knew it was coming. And I even discussed it. And, you know, True Tech Tools, they were really awesome with this whole project. In fact, let's just say this, True Tech Tools reached out to me before I reached out to them about the end of the year giveaway. And we've been talking about this pretty much most of the way through the year. So it was really neat that they were eager to do it again too. Just like myself. And of course, you know, they get promotion and stuff from this, but they truly are a great company. So if you guys haven't already, please go check out truetechtools.com. And then remember, a great way to support the channel is use my offer code BIGPICTURE, one word. You'll get an 8% discount as of today. If you know what you're going to purchase when you want to buy something from True Tech Tools, shoot me an email. I can generate an affiliate link. You know, the same thing goes for, guys. I don't really talk about this kind of stuff very often, but I think it is something important. When you have creators, when you have people that are putting themselves out there, yes, of course, you know, some of us are making money. I make money from these videos. Okay. YouTube puts commercials on them, and obviously I have sponsors too, right? But still, any creators out there that do anything, any method of support that you can give creators when they're watching or when they're making this content, you know, benefits all of them. Okay. And support doesn't have to be money. You don't have to give people money necessarily. Some people choose to help that way. But the simple thing of watching the videos, commenting, leaving interactions, you know, that's why, you know, I include other people oftentimes at the end of my videos. I try to promote other channels to try to help those channels grow, because it's a small community and we kind of all try to help each other out. You know, that's one really cool thing about the YouTube community with HVAC. Majority of the people all get along, and they're not competing per se. You know, everybody out there is just having fun, and they like to share their knowledge, you know? So anyways, let's get to, can you get a picture of me on a t-shirt? I can't say that I would ever do that. Let's see. Yeah, exactly. What's a good alternative to R22 with similar pressures but not a blend? No such thing to something that is a good alternative to R22 with similar pressures that's not a blend. Doesn't exist, okay? There's several alternatives that do work in replacement of R22, but there's all kinds of factors that go into those alternatives. So you always want to reach out to the manufacturer of each particular refrigerant and find out their recommendations for system conversions, okay? I'm going to go out on a limb here and say 99.9% of the R22 alternatives need to have polyester oil and or in the instructions for the refrigerant, it'll usually have some kind of wording in there that says works best under certain circumstances with polyester oil, which essentially means it works best with POE. Okay. So, you know, R22 could be used with mineral or polyester oil, but most of the blend replacements are all going to be with polyester oil. I know that there's going to be people in the comments right now saying that if you add 6 ounces of polyester oil or you know, this or that it'll make it work better. Who knows? Okay. To each their own with what they want to do. But I'm a fan of being sure when I sell the customer something that it's going to last and there's no ifs, ands, or buts or issues that you're going to run into. So if I was to use an R22 alternative, I would be doing a full oil change and or compressor change depending on what the customer wanted, okay? So I actually had a question about this. I had a video since my last live stream, and it was called, the Kitchen AC Had a Tripped Breaker Part 2, I think is what it was called or whatever. It was about a week and a half ago. And it was the return visit on a original video where I went back and changed a compressor and then did a burnout cleanup, and then I charged the system back up. So the question was, did I use R22 in that video? And yes, I did not use an alternative to R22. I still, as of this day, am still using R22 refrigerant, but I always put it in my customers' hands and let them make the decisions. I'll give them the pros and cons of each one, and usually they want to stick with R22. As of this previous year, every one of my customers has told me to stick with R22 through the entire year. Now we're coming up to a new year, so I'm gonna approach my customers again and give them options and give them the prices and the things we need to do if we wanted to convert to an R22 alternative. And if they wanted to do that, if they want to do it, I will use alternatives, but I just put it in my customers' hands, okay? By doing that, I'm taking some of the burden off of my chest because of the complications you might run into. Minor efficiency losses, pressure drop problems, poor oil return problems, things like that. Obviously, the price is a big factor. They're going to be spending sometimes, a large significant amount more to use R22. But majority of the time, even though they know the prices are high, the customers go with 22. Okay, so I will be having that discussion with all my customers again soon, and we'll see where they want to go with it. Okay, back to let me mark that question off and then get back to what I started on. So I just recently, actually today, just decided to release my end of the year giveaway video. So I kind of talked about it for a minute. But what I was saying was, I really do like to do things in my own way. Okay. So I wanted the people to be randomly picked. I didn't want them to expect it. I didn't want people trying to win this. I wanted people just to be honest, and then I just picked people. Okay. So, again, nothing against the way other creators do their work. I just like to do my own thing. And with that being said, let's discuss this too, because this is a good segue. I've had several people reaching out to me telling me that, the end of my videos is getting to be way too long. I'm talking too much. Or I get people that complain if I don't do one, they go back and forth. Look, I'm not doing, I do take comments and suggestions into consideration, but majority of the time I'm doing things the way that I want to do them. Okay. So, there's a reason why I do closing words at the end of my videos. It's so that way I can address some of the potential comments, because I already know when I make a video what people are going to comment. I can tell you what majority of the comments are going to be. A lot of them are repetitive. And so I try to address those in the end of the video, because it saves me. It keeps me sane from having to answer the questions over and over and over again. These live streams, they originally started as a way for me to consolidate the questions, because I was finding myself, just completely spending all my life staring at video comments. So I started doing the live streams, and it's even gotten to the point that I can't even address all the comments in live streams. And it's a good problem to have. First world problems over here, right? But at the same time, I'm going to continue to do things the way I want to do them. While I will take suggestions into consideration, don't assume and don't be offended if I don't listen to you. This is my way. It's just how I'm going to do it. Okay. Let's see what else we got going on here. Do I use the FLIR for checking liquid level refrigerant in receivers for a pump down unit? Yeah, I've used the FLIR 1 Pro several times in my videos when I'm checking liquid levels. A lot of people might say that's an odd way to check refrigerant levels in a system. It's not accurate. You should do this way. You should do that way. Regardless, everybody can have different ways to get to a certain goal, right? And sometimes you can have multiple ways that can get you to that goal. There's reasons with it that I've laid out many times in my videos as to why I check liquid level, fill it up to the 3/4 mark. I've said it probably ad nauseum too many times, how many times I've explained that, right? But that's just the way that I've always done things. It works for me, and I make sure that the systems are operating properly. Okay. So let's see what else we got going on in the chat. It says that you're watching from Denmark. That's really cool. That's really neat to be reaching all around the world with these videos. It definitely is really cool. Let's see. If I have a lot of automatic defrost on a heat pump, would adding a heating element to the outside unit solve the coil frost? In order to add a heating element to an outdoor coil, it's really going to be extremely inefficient, and it's not really going to be practical because, you know, when you have a heat element as supplementary heat on the inside of a heat pump, right? Sometimes I'll put a heat element in there that's contained into a duct, and it has precise coverage of the heating elements and their size to heat the air. In order to put a heating element that would work properly on a heat pump outside, you'd have to have a ginormous heating element to be able to get the proper heat transfer. So it's just not really a practical thing to do, is add a heating element to the outdoor coil. You're just going to have to deal with the defrost. Now, you know, older heat pumps, they definitely had, you know, considerably more issues with icing up and, you know, cold environments outside, right? The newer heat pumps, they're actually doing really well with their efficiencies, and they can operate them in much lower temperatures without significantly icing up the coils to where it affects the performance. So the newer heat pumps, they are amazing. And then you have inverter technology, and you know, while I'm not a huge fan of having circuit boards and everything, you know, the technology that these inverter systems have is amazing. So, you know, the future is cool. I am optimistic in the way that things are going. It's really cool. Let's see what else we got going on in the chat right now. Let's see. You just used your FLIR today on a walk-in freezer to check the receiver. It was 60% full. Right on, dude. You know, and oftentimes 60% full might be enough. You know, the 80, 90% full that I use, or 3/4 full, is really just because I know that's the maximum amount of refrigerant. But, you know, I think the key to doing anything when you're checking liquid levels in a receiver is to have some way to mark where you left it. That's really important. So if you know someone's charged it and they've calculated the internal volume of the system, and you know, then they pump the system down and check the liquid level, mark it with a paint marker, you know, because then you know, and put the date right there. Then you know from that point forward, it should always be at that level, you know, and then you don't have to put 3/4 or whatever. You know, the 3/4 thing is really just because I'm walking up on a system that I have no idea what the proper level is, and there's no way to calculate it when there's refrigerant in it, you know? So, all right. Let's see. Air-to-air heat pumps have come a long way since the old days when you started in 99. Wow, yeah. Jason Johnson, we've been pretty much in the trade just about the same amount of time. I mean, I've officially been in it since 2001, but right around the same time as when you started. But obviously, you know, for those that are watching that don't know, I grew up working for my father doing air conditioning and refrigeration. So it's in my blood, second generation. You know, so I already had kind of fundamentals down. No, I wouldn't say I had a huge understanding of them, but I had the basic principles of how things worked. And from junior high on, I was doing rooftop preventative maintenances, cleaning media pads on coolers and, you know, filters and condensers and all that fancy stuff. So, all right. So got a couple things in here. First, I had some really interesting points. So Mike had asked me a great question, and I'm just going to go ahead and read this because it was just a great question altogether. And there's a good story in here. So Mike is saying, here's his scenario. One of his techs installed a 3-ton scroll compressor on a 7-year-old Linux split system over the summer. The compressor was shorted to ground at the time. Okay. Then that compressor... Let's see, that compressor was shorted to ground. That compressor failed 2 weeks ago, okay? They received a compressor a week later, installed it, and then 2 days later, the compressor was bad again, okay? So I'm kind of paraphrasing, but he's saying that he checked pressures, voltages, you know, all these different things, and he wants to know if I have any ideas on where the problem might be, okay? I'm going to say that you need to be able to autopsy one of those compressors, okay? The manufacturer more than likely... depending on if I understand that correctly, depending on how many times you changed it, you may not be able to autopsy it or not. You may not be able to warranty it. But if you can get your hands on that compressor, I have been told, I've never done this before, but I have been told that if you return a compressor under warranty, you can actually request that they do a physical inspection of that compressor. Now, I've heard that. I don't know it to be true. I've heard that about Copeland. That may or may not be true, but still the whole idea that you can request for them to send you a report, they'll basically push it to the top of the list because, You know, they want to get them cut apart. Now, another thing to understand too, if you guys don't already know this, if you're ever working on Copeland's semi-hermetic compressors, I know this for a fact with the semi-hermetic compressors. Copeland encourages you and myself, any of us HVAC people, even if the compressor's under warranty, if it's a semi-hermetic, to open it up, pull the valves apart. As long as you can get all the parts back in the case and close it up, that's all that they care about. They encourage people to autopsy these semi-hermetic compressors because they're just bolts, okay? Obviously, you know, they don't want you cutting open a hermetically sealed compressor. But if the compressors are not under warranty, I highly encourage everybody out there to try to autopsy them safely. Even myself, in, you know, the last 3-4 years when I've really been cutting open compressors, I've learned a significant amount just by opening them up and noticing patterns. And this was a grounded compressor. There's no oil in it, you know, or things like that. Pour the oil out. That's so important to dive into things. And it's that mindset, I think, that, you know, can help us all to be better. Is just the curious mindset, right? Kind of like the curious HVAC guy. That's my buddy Bill. If you guys also don't know, I do an overtime, the HVAC overtime show with my buddies on Friday evenings about 6:05 p.m. Pacific. Usually we go live with the four of us, Adam, Bill, Joe, and myself, and we just recap the week. We have a lot of fun. They actually helped me with ideas in my giveaway video that I just did. If you guys haven't seen that video, I highly encourage you to go to my channel. It's my video that I just released today. It was my end of the year giveaway. I have to say again, thank you to everybody out there that's watching right now. You guys made this possible for me to be able to do something like this. And you know, it's very awesome to be able to do this kind of stuff. I'm reading right now. Let's see. What is this service call about? This better not. It doesn't say emergency. So, yeah. Cool. Yeah, I don't think that's an emergency, but, yeah, service calls are always coming in, right? All right, let's go ahead and get to my list of things to talk about. George asked me a good question too. When I do compressor changeouts, you know, and he was referencing a video that I did for a liquor store, maybe 6 months ago. It was a compressor replacement, and it was an older walk-in cooler, and they only wanted a compressor. That's it, only a compressor. And they, you know, because in the video I said something's happening, the owner doesn't want to spend any more money than he has to, okay? I can't reveal what's going on yet because I don't think it's official yet, but anyway, so in that video, I went out there and I changed the compressor, then I found some other parts, and then I changed a liquid line filter dryer and a sight glass. And George was asking me, when I do a compressor replacement like that, do I put that in the invoice without telling the customer? Do I tell the customer that I change a dryer? Do I itemize it? You know, or do I just try to change it? Because I change a dryer every time. So he's asking, you know, do I tell the customer that I'm including that in the quote? Do I give them options? And yes, I tell the customer I'm including that in the quote because I do itemized breakdowns. My quotes break the parts down for each individual item with the price of each individual item. Then it all adds everything up so the customer can look at my stuff and do the math, right? So I don't try to hide anything. But let me address this. If a customer wanted me to change a compressor without changing a dryer, no. That's not the kind of customer that I want to work for, okay? Because I follow the best practices that I can. And I'm going to try to do work, you know, that I feel proud about. So I'm not going to go out there and just change a dryer or not change a dryer on a system that I worked on. It's going to happen. Now, there is times that I will make exceptions. You know, let's say that I just worked on it yesterday and I put a dryer on it, you know, and then I came back out today and I just needed to change the refrigerant. I don't know, whatever, right? You know, sometimes if it's within a day or so, I might not change the dryer, okay? But I'd say 99.9% of the time I am changing the dryer, no questions asked, okay? It's not an option. It's something that I'm telling the customer I'm doing, but I'm saying this is how I will be willing to perform the job for you, and that's it. You know, I'm not going to just go in there and start doing shady stuff. It just leads to problems. And as a business owner running the business, it's so important that the processes processes, I don't know how you say that, that we have our employees follow be as easy and as clear as possible, right? So I don't want to be out there trying to figure out how to make all these different aftermarket parts work in weird situations. I don't want my guys doing that. I want my guys focusing on what they're supposed to do and putting all their effort into that. You know, instead of having to worry about crazy technical stuff. If I have to get something crazy technical and, you know, occasionally we'll help a customer out in a weird situation, I'll be the one to go out there, take a technician with me and try to train him as we're doing it. And we'll decide, you know, the best ways to attack things. But I usually don't let my guys get too crazy into the thought process. Let's see what else we got going on here. Didn't get any alerts for a new video today. Rafael Gomez. Yeah, I don't know what's up with YouTube. I hear that from people sometimes. Sometimes I wonder if there's a way. I got to figure out a way to like maybe go around the YouTube notifications, like figure out a way to notify you guys with like text messages or I don't know. If you guys have any ideas, you know, on ways that I can help to notify more of my viewers, because a lot of my viewers aren't getting notifications because YouTube changes the way the algorithm follows things, you know, and it also is another thing that, you know, people that watch YouTube, they don't always subscribe anymore because it's kind of going, it's kind of so difficult to be subscribed to every single channel. And it's also because a lot of people watch on their television, so it's a little bit harder to subscribe, you know, but, so the way people do things is different. Let's see what else we got in here, but you know, so I don't know. I guess I'd like to try to find a way to notify people. That way I can notify more, because it's interesting when you see the analytics to see how many people are watching my videos versus subscribed, and yeah, it's interesting numbers. Let's see. I got some other good questions in here too. What makes me decide to use a notched belt versus a V solid belt? When I use a notched or a cogged belt, an AX or a BX belt, in my opinion, those are the best belts out there. They have the longest wear cycle, in my opinion, if tightened properly. And they also don't heat up as much because of the notched gaps or the gaps, right? So because of those, they don't get as hot and they actually last longer. They stretch less. And they're just overall the best kind of belts. Now, oftentimes, you know, I'll say, hey, let's use a cogged belt or a V belt or whatever, V notched belt, whatever you want to call them. But there's, you know, times that the supply houses don't have them, right? In my recent video about the exhaust fan that had the blown breaker and stuff, in that one, I used regular belts because the supply house simply didn't have the notched belts at the time, okay? And I want to talk about that video too, because a lot of people have a lot of good feedback, and oftentimes there's things that I don't do in videos or I don't show, and so it leaves people curious. Holy majoli, Peter Smart, thank you very much for that super chat. Wow, bud. That is an amazing super chat. You did not have to do that, but I'm very grateful. Wow, bud. That's really, really cool. Thank you, man. Wow. Kind of took me off guard there. Threw me off track, man. But that was awesome, bud. Wow. That was just great. Cool. Let's see. Let me see where I'm at on this. I totally got sidetracked. Oh, yeah, but with the A belts or the notch belts, I prefer the notched or the cogged belts. All right. Let me see what we got going on in here. All right, cool. Then you get a banded belt. Oh, okay. You know what else too? If you guys haven't, I keep those rescue belts on my truck. I have usually a big enough belt to do all the B belts and all the A belts with those power twist belts, I think is what they're called or whatever. They have little couplings that you can take off and put them together. Those things are great, and they last, and they're a great emergency thing. So then I don't got to carry 50 billion belts in my van. Usually I'll put one of those adjustable belts on there, and sometimes if it's only for a day, I'll go back and take it off and I'll just keep it in my van and reuse it. So those notch belts are great. You can charge a rental fee or whatever. Let's see what else. Yeah, that was awesome. What refrigerant leak detector do I recommend? Well, there's two leak detectors that I carry in my truck today. The Infocon Stratus or the D-Tech Stratus. And I also carry the Fieldpiece DR82 leak detector. They're both infrared leak detectors, and they're amazing. In my opinion, within the normal budget level of a leak detector, those are the two best on the market, in my opinion. Okay, you can also argue that the H10 is neck and neck with those ones. Some people say it's even better, but then you can get into really, really crazy expensive leak detectors that do amazing stuff. But for me, the normal consumer version, whatever you want to call it, is the Fieldpiece DR82 or the Infocon Stratus. But there is a significant price difference, and in my opinion, both of those leak detectors perform equal. So the Stratus is $500 more than the Fieldpiece one, I think. So it's kind of like, oh man, the Fieldpiece one does everything that the Stratus needs to, and it's great. Matthew McCrum, thank you very much for that super chat. That is amazing. The support is very humbling. Thank you guys. That is really cool. While we're talking about this, there's a lot of people in here probably that weren't in the very beginning of the video, so or the stream. So I did do my end of the year giveaway video, and that was a really cool experience for me. I'd been working on that all year long. Oh wow, Peter Smart, dude, holy moly. That is amazing. I did, I believe I saw your comment somewhere about that, but holy moly, man, that is amazing. Thank you very much, bud. I'm blown away. Matthew McCrum, that is an amazing, thank you, Matthew. Yeah, that is amazing too. Okay, so thank you guys very much for these super chats. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, there's a chat going on and people are donating to the channel via YouTube. You can just hit a button, you can donate. There's other ways you can support the channel. I say it all the time in my videos. Just watch the end of any one of my videos, or people in the chat can tell you. Let's see. So the leak detectors, yeah, both of those are amazing. Let's see what else we got going on in here. Brian Guzman, have I ever worked on VRF systems? No, I have not worked on VRF systems. They intrigue me. I really would like to work on those. Unfortunately, my employees, they're not qualified. Plus, I don't think that they would want to work on those things. So I'm limited to the scope of what my employees can do. I would love to get into that kind of stuff. But, some people don't want to get into that. And that's what I mean by my employees not necessarily wanting to. Some of them probably would, but the technical computer skills and stuff you have to work on the VRF stuff, sometimes people just aren't that interested in. All right. But I'm awesome, man. I'd really love to get into the VRF stuff. It sounds fun. Let's see. Rich, that's an amazing thing. So Rich says, find a charity that is close to my heart. He'll match all my super chat donations up to $1,000. It has to be kids' health issues. So basically, Rich is saying that he will match whatever you guys super chat in here if I donate it all to charity. I would be willing to do that if people, even for the people that have already donated, I'd be totally willing to donate that to charity. So, thank you for that. And Rich, I will probably take you up on that offer and, we will talk later, you and I. So, but regardless, yeah, any super chats from this stream tonight, I will gladly donate to, some sort of a children's charity. Yeah, that is a great thing, I think, to do. And I probably should do stuff like that more often. So, Rich, do me a favor and send me an email too, so that way I don't forget. I'd really appreciate it, or a text or whatever, man. Let's see what else. Did I fix my Appian Core tools yet? No, I did not fix my Appian Core tools yet. I think I bought 2 more. No, I swapped them. Yeah, I swapped them out. That's right. I took them to the supply house because I had just gotten those and I had them swapped out. So yes, I did. Let's see what else. Yeah, Rich is the man. And I'll keep saying that. Moderators, do me a favor. We'll probably get about another half hour on this stream. So do me a favor, Alaska. Thank you very much, bud. Again, any donations to this right now, I will donate everything from this live stream to charity. So let's see what else. All right. Okay, I'm going to get to one more of my questions that I already answered that one. Anyways, I got distracted here, guys. I totally got distracted. Gabe's Reef Tampa, thank you very much. Keep the super chats going and it'll all get donated to charity. So I think I got distracted and it didn't answer Mike's question, okay? So anyways, Mike, you keep having a compressor failure, okay? And you keep running into the same issue. What I would encourage you to do, kind of what I said earlier and got distracted on it, is try to autopsy the compressor if you can, at least get the oil out. I would bet that you have some sort of an oil-related problem. I think that knowing what caused the compressor to fail is definitely going to help you. But I would, off the top of my head, guess that you're having some sort of an oil problem. I'd be very curious to see if you are missing all the oil and it's jammed up in your system somewhere causing some issues. But of course, I would need to know a little bit more about your particular situation. Is it a train package unit with a 3D scroll? Is it, you know, insert whatever here? Give me more information. Feel free to send me an email, hvacrvideos@gmail.com. We can talk a little bit more about it, okay? But I know you already sent me a message, but yeah. So the 98 DeVille. So what we're saying right now, guys, if you guys don't already know, a few people came in here and some people made some very, very generous, amazing donations to the channel. And I said that any donations that come in tonight, I will donate to charity. And one of the viewers, my buddy Rich, came on and said he would be willing to match my donation up to $1,000. So whatever you guys donate tonight, no matter what the amount, I will donate it all to some sort of a children's charity. Okay. I know I keep saying that, but sorry. So Ryan had asked me a very interesting question too. And he said, hey, if I was, working on a nail salon, sizing equipment for a nail salon, what kind of precautions would I take in sizing the equipment? And he's worried about the chemicals and the that could potentially attack the coils. Okay. First of all, I would definitely reach out to the manufacturer. There is many nail salons out there. People do make and they understand of the situation. So reach out to all the manufacturers, find out if they offer any options. At a minimum, I would say, hey, maybe the coils need to be coated, but you also need to understand that the types of chemicals that are airborne are not necessarily what most people have coatings made for. Most of the time that there's coil coatings, they're there to keep corrosion from salts and vinegars and acids. You know, if you start having things like acetone and stuff in the air, there may not be much you can do. Who knows? It's hard to say, okay? But always reach out to the manufacturer. I'm sure you can find some case studies online about that too, but that is a very, very intriguing question. So, all right, so that's a good one. So wow, guys, these super chats are amazing. So yes, any donations that come into this stream tonight, I will donate, and we already have someone willing to match the donations. So I will donate whatever you guys give in super chats to charity. It'll be a children's charity, I'm sure, and I'll announce it on the channel and stuff. We'll do all that stuff. Okay. Let's see what else we got going on here. This live stream has so many cool cats in it. That is right, man. It definitely does. It's amazing people, guys. You know, guys, this is what we're talking about. I made my video today about how we need more kindness, right? And it took someone else's kindness. They gave me a donation. Then it took someone else's kindness of saying they would match that donation that led me to doing this too. So we just need more kindness. For those people, there was a few commenters that had some really negative things to say about how we don't need kindness in my video today. And that's not true. We need more kindness. The fear and the hate that we have for each other in general is sad. Okay. So kindness is the key. That is awesome, guys. You guys in these super chats, man. This is amazing. Yeah, this will all be going to charity, man. This is absolutely amazing. Really cool. Really, really cool. All right. Let's see. So guys, I have been, you know, kind of saying things on social media, and I am going to be working on myself a little bit lately. I've been having a hard time with, you know, just how I delegate things or the lack of delegation that I have. You know, I don't, you know, usually, let other people help me with stuff. So I'm going to be trying to do that. I'm not changing anything really with the videos, but I'm trying to make it better for myself. So I'm going to be reaching out to get some professional help with the videos and stuff like that. Maybe some people that can help to manage things and stuff like that. And just so I can continue to have fun with this. So shouldn't be changing anything. Everything should be the same. I just want to try to, you know, take some of the weight off of me when it comes to these streams and these videos and stuff. So I encourage everybody out there too, if you guys ever have any ideas, you know, like of wanting to film your own service calls or try to help, I either can help to promote you, I can help to get you in contact with people that you can work and do stuff for. So feel free to reach out to me if you guys ever want to get into the videos things, you know, and things like that. Cause I'm always willing to talk to people as long as I have time. Just understand sometimes it takes me a while to get back because I got a million things going on. So, wow, this is amazing, guys. It's just money, right? No, that is absolutely amazing. All these super chats, guys. This is great. All right. Again, for people that are just coming in right now, they're all going to charity. So happy holidays. That is right. It is a great time Even though, you know, there's some craziness going on and everything, it's a great time of the year. So, in my video with the exhaust fan too, you know, we had a lot of comments where I had the tripped motor starter, and people were right. You know, people reached out and said, hey, you know what, in that video, in the very beginning, they saw me grab a wire that looked burnt. I looked at it and they're saying that they think that is what caused the breaker to trip. You know, it's a possibility. I did repair that. It is a possibility, and it makes more sense as to why the breaker tripped if it was an electrical short for sure. I did repair that section of wire, but I was able to cut it short kind of, but yeah, I was able to repair that, but I still changed the motor starter because I wasn't happy with that. We know that the exhaust fan had bad bearings, and I was just worried that that motor starter had not tripped. So I was just to be on the safe side, we changed the motor starter too, got that taken care of. Because you don't want to be damaging expensive motors like that. I just had a service call that I haven't even been able to make a video on, where it was a very similar situation, and I'm going to be working on it, but it's a very interesting one where I kind of talked about it on the HVAC overtime this last week, but where I keep tripping a motor starter and it's just really difficult to figure out what's going on. So that'll be a fun one. We're still working on that one, but all right, let's see what else. So yeah, everybody, this is amazing. This stream is awesome. Okay. So, let's see. I already talked about that. I didn't really discuss this one, and this was a good one. So, released a video this last week of a job walk or a site visit that I did on a potential customer. And I went out and looked at the walk-in that was missing the evaporator. And then I was kind of saying on social media that I felt bad that I had given him so much information, because, you know, there is truth that I see things that normal people don't. So when I'm walking into a job, there is a value on my knowledge, you know, and there has to be a price of some sort. You know, maybe not for everybody. Of course, I give my knowledge to you guys, you know, the little bit that I have, but there's always stuff that I want to be able to charge for what I know to my customers, you know? So as I did that job walk, and I realized when I was done, as I'm driving home, it's like, man, I was blown away that there was that many problems with the building they were just about to open. The general seemed clueless, you know, couldn't even get me in with mall security, but whatever. You know, that was just crazy. But I mean, I was just blown away. But in the end, I was like, man, you know, I told them all these things that weren't going to allow them to pass code, and they were completely ignorant of them all. It's kind of sad to think that people go into this that unprepared, but hey, you know, who knows? Wow, that is amazing, man. Bill, even orphans need big pictures. That is amazing. Everybody, thank you all for these super chats, and they will be donated to charity. So, this is amazing. Yeah, this is really, really cool. Great way to show to do this. Let's see. I'm going through the questions right now. I already kind of answered those ones. Cool. So I'm kind of through my questions. Have I got a service call of a walk-in cooler at near freezer temperatures? Yeah, I actually have. I've had, that's amazing, Rick, HVACR Survival. That's amazing, man. These super chats are awesome. And also, just to be clear, I will be donating the full amount of what is actually being donated. Even, you know, I will make up the difference for what YouTube takes, basically. So we'll make sure that whatever the amount that is donated will be an even amount, and it will not include YouTube's 30% take of everything that you do for them. All right. So let's see what else we got in here. You needed to call Paul Blart. That is right. I needed Paul Blart for sure. This is amazing. You guys, these super chats are awesome. This is really cool. So anyways, yeah, sorry, John Deere fan. Have I got a service call on a walk-in freezer that was too low? Yeah, I have, our walk-in cooler. I've had that happen many times where, liquid line solenoid valves are stuck open and all the products at 15 degrees, you know, the customer's freaking out because it ruined all their produce and stuff. Yeah, it's happened many times on walk-in coolers. So, let's see what else. What are some questions you ask future employees on interviews? Okay, so Free Flunky, I'm going to tell you right now that I do unconventional interviews, and I've heard many people who teach how to do interviews and things say that my way is wrong and it's really toxic. But what I actually do when I do an interview, I have a conversation with the person. It is a genuine conversation, and I have a few talking points in that conversation, but I'm more interested in having a general conversation with someone because I feel like I get a better idea of their character and the type of people that they are. And again, of course, we're going to talk a few things about qualifications, but it's not a I want you to come in here and prove to me that you're a good person. No, we're having a genuine conversation and we're interacting and we're feeding off of each other. Because remember, when someone's doing an interview, right? Let's say I'm the employer and I'm interviewing someone. I'm being interviewed in the same way. We have to understand that as a reciprocating interview. We each have to ask each other questions because we're trying to prove to each other that we're a good fit. Okay. So the biggest thing is that I have a conversation. Okay. Then we will usually discuss some of their employment history, you know, reasons why they left, you know, that kind of stuff. And I also like to hear what employees don't like about their previous employers so that way I can have a general idea of what I'm getting into. Again, these are all questions that lead to the same thing, which is basically the person's character and their work ethic. And that's the important thing. So I've heard many people say that's the wrong way to conduct interviews and stuff, but hey, I've always done things to the tune of my own drum, right? All right. See what else. Rita Loy, thank you very much for that super chat. You guys, there's so many super chats coming in that I can't even keep track of them. But if I missed any of you, thank you very much. And again, the chat revenue right now, you don't have to keep adding it up. I can show you guys is $454.97. I think that's after YouTube's cut, so I'll make sure I figure that out. But yeah, we're almost at $500 right now. So this is amazing. You guys, these super chats are crazy. Thank you so very much. This will all be donated to charity, some sort of a children's hospital, something like that, for sure. We'll make sure that it goes to kids. And we also have another viewer, Rich, in the chat has agreed to match the super chat donations up to $1,000. So up to $1,000, Rich is going to duplicate or donate the same amount or whatever, and we'll make sure that it gets to a charity. So this is awesome, guys. This is really, really cool. All right, let's get through the chat, see what we're missing. You know what, man? I have to say that this tea, Joe, thank you very much, man. Everybody, wow, this is amazing. So this is a chamomile tea, and it really does help when I'm doing these streams to drink some hot tea. All right. Y'all, this is amazing. Yeah, these super chats, guys. Aardvark Spleen, Kevin Sullivan, Laska, Joe, Rita Loy. My goodness. HVACR Survival, Rick, Curious HVAC Guy, Bill, 716 Appliance Guy, Murad, Laska, Raphael, John Cruz, Scott, HVAC Rookie, Jason Johnson. You guys are amazing. Ryan Murray, Joe T, Will Speed, Nathaniel Hedge, Hamilton Mechanical, the 98 DeVille, Gabe's Reef Tampa, Laska again. My goodness, Peter Smart, Matthew McCrum, and I know there was a few before Matthew McCrum too. That is amazing. You guys are absolutely amazing. We are at $513. This is all going to a children's charity. Matthew McCrum, again, that is amazing, man. All right. Let's see. My buddy Bill says that he replaces gas valves with TXVs when they fail. Bill, you never cease to amaze me, I should say, buddy. All right. He's being sarcastic, by the way. ADI Plumbing. What's the difference between a normal exhaust fan and a main exhaust fan? Well, when I say normal or main, it really, you guys don't have context for that. But, you know, depending on the restaurant, there really should be no difference. It's just a name. Some restaurants may call the main part of their kitchen the main exhaust, you know, and then you have fry exhaust and griddle and different things like that. But it's all just how the customers name them. That's why we call them that. So there could be the exact same thing. Tristan James Young, thank you for that super chat. These are all going to charity, guys. Let's see, we're at, $520 right now. Alan, $100. That is amazing. So we're at $619 right now. So this is absolutely amazing. You guys are all great. Wow. All right. Let's see. Where's the overtime merch at? Ryan Murray. Murray, actually, we are about to launch a website, and I know Bill has been working his butt off getting all that stuff figured out. I just transferred the domain in his name, and it should be launched here within, I'd say, a week probably. So it's going to be awesome. Alan, Quiet Tone 610. Again, Joe, come on, man. That's amazing, man. You guys are are absolutely awesome. We are at $650 right now. This is amazing. Absolutely amazing. All right, let's see. So, yeah, we're making it through this. This is great. So I did repair. I already talked about how I did repair that wire on the exhaust fan that was shorted out. Yeah, that is correct. Let's see. Look at that, Rich, right there. GT350R. He says he'll match up to $1,000. We're at 650.49 right now. This is amazing. All right. So I already answered that one. Oh, I did want to talk about this too. You know, in the video, you know, that I went to the Vacant restaurant and, you know, was amazed with that. In that video, those air handlers for the air conditioning split systems are in the attic, and those air handlers are completely inaccessible. And it's things like that that makes me cringe when I have to say this, because I'm not a fan of regulations. I really am not. I think we have way too many. But in that situation, I need more regulations. I wish that we had to have a legit license to do this. Obviously, that it would be a legit license and there was no corruption in it. But I wish that we would have to prove ourselves to be HVAC technicians. And I wish that, you know, more people would have to pull permits on jobs and do things the right way, because us as service technicians and business owners having to work on that equipment in those horrible locations is just crazy. You know, it's nuts. Peter Smart, that is amazing. You guys in these super chats, holy majoli, man. Everything HVACR, good gosh, guys. Peter Smart again, you're amazing, man. Let's see. Ever have to work on equipment installed by subpar general contractors? Yes, I have. I have also been the person that refused to do things the way that a general contractor wanted me to do. We shouldn't say general contractor, because there could be really good ones too, but just shady contractors, I think, is the way to say it. Okay. So, you know, sometimes they want you to do things because the customer demands certain things and they know that they can cut corners and, you know, whatever. It can get frustrating, you know, but I have said no. You know, I did a few installs for a major chain that started up, and I don't usually do new installs, but I did a few installs, and I refused to do things. You know, they wanted me to just coil up the line sets on top of the walk-in, and I was like, nope, not doing it. You know, my quote's cutting those line sets to length and strapping them down appropriately, you know, and they pushed back on that. But I just basically told them, if you don't want to do it my way, I'm not doing it. I'm not interested in doing certain things. I have a line, you know, and I was drawing the line. I wasn't going to do that crap. And I know some of those locations are still open. I don't service them, nor have I ever, but I know that they were installed properly, you know? So, Bill, that is an amazing super chat. Yeah, great, man. That is all. There's more that I missed. Oh yeah, we got those. Everything HVACR and Peter Smart. That's right. We're at $735 right now. This is amazing. All right. Yeah. Yeah, installing equipment and making it impossible to service. No, I've done some work in a hospital too that used to follow everything by the book, but I never understood their water source heat pumps when they were in their satellite locations were always installed completely inaccessible. Like, and there's nothing worse than working on a water source heat pump, you know, above 6 feet off the ground or higher, right? Oh my gosh, standing on ladders, having to, you know, undo water lines to check for fouled condensers and different things like that is an absolute miserable thing. It absolutely sucks, you know? So it blows my mind that people install things in some ways. Guys, these super chats are still coming through. Holy moly. Peter Smart again. Holy moly, man. This is great, guys. We're at $785 right now. Again, that might be after YouTube might already be paying with that. So I'll definitely add it all up and make sure. We'll do this, and I'll definitely announce it on the stream too, or something like that on the channel. All right, let's see what else we got going on in here. What am I missing? Bill is being generous. How do I create confidence in my guys? Kevin Corona. That's an interesting one. I don't think you create confidence. I think you open up their eyes to realize that they have the ability to do things. So you're not going to make them confident, but you're going to just basically, you know, encourage them with their strengths, and then also encourage them to grow in their weaknesses. You know, you're going to help them get to a goal instead of getting them to the goal, kind of a thing. Let's see. So, you know, I mean, but I am not the perfect employer, guys. I really am not. I don't want to portray myself as this amazing boss. I'm not. Okay. I'm winging it. I mean, I do my best every day, but all of us are winging it in a weird way, right? You know, so I'm sure there's things that I do that are not correct. So I don't want to come out there to act like a saint because I'm not. HVACR survival, Rick, that is amazing, man. You are absolutely amazing. All right, let's see. Let's see, Peter Smart. How do I create confidence? I already answered that question. All right. Well, it is about time to wrap this up. So what we're going to do is whatever the difference is, as of, you know, I will go ahead and match, you know, or I will meet Rich. So whatever we have in Super Chats, I'll make up the difference. We'll make sure that I'm donating $1,000 and Rich is donating $1,000 to any charity or to a children's charity. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this stream up. This is amazing. I will definitely put information on social media about it, but we'll be definitely donating $2,000 to a children's charity. I will make up the difference from whatever it is and with Rich's donation. So thank you very much, everybody that has been donating to this. This is awesome. We're going to pick a charity and we'll figure this all out. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and cue up the outro music. Wink, the 98 DeVille. That is awesome. Joseph Chavez. Amazing. Okay. So as long as I can figure out how to pull this up, pull that up and go right there. That's not the right one. I need to click the right intro picture, turn that one off. I am having a hard time with my stuff right now. I'm going to go ahead and cue up the outro music. I really appreciate you all. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to be able to do all this. And we will catch you on the next one.